Hi everyone, this is Bradshaw here. Today we are going to do a review on place value. So our learning goal is to determine the value of a digit and write the number in 3 different forms. So last week we worked on reading and writing numbers. Today we are going to determine the value of an underlined digit. And then we are going to write the number in 3 different forms. There are 3 different forms when we're working with numbers. We have standard form, we have word form, and we have expanded form. Last week, you guys wrote in standard form and you wrote in word form. This week, we are going to focus on expanded form. So just as a quick recap, we worked with this problem last week. It says, write the following number in the chart below. 4,721,601. So last week, we placed the number in the chart, starting with the ones place and moving up. We learned that every time we get to the end of a period, we say the name. So we have the thousands period here, we have the millions period here. We can see the end of a period when a number is written in standard form by looking at where the commas are placed. That represents the end of a period. Every time we get to a comma, we read and say the period name. When we were writing it in word form down here, we wrote it exactly how we said it. So the biggest thing whenever we do that is we say the period name. So we have the millions period after we say 4 million. Then we have 721,000. So I said 1,000. And then 601. And the important part of that last part of reading that is we say 601. We do not say the word and, because if we remember from last week, an and represents a decimal point that then goes into fractions, and we are not dealing with fractions yet. So today we are going to find the value of the underlined digit in this number. So if I remember to how I did it last week, I'm going to try to read this number. I have 657, there's a comma, 872,212. So when I'm asked to find the value, I have to figure out what place is this in. So I see it's between 2 commas. So I have a comma here and a comma here. So I know that this number is going to be within the thousands period. So then within the thousands period, I need to figure out, is it in the ones, the tens, or the hundreds? So looking back at my chart, I know it's in the first one. Here's the thousands period, and it's this one here. So it's in the 1,000s place. So the 1,000s place. So if I asked, what place is it in? You would tell me it's in the 1,000s place. But I asked, what is the value? So to find the value, I say, okay, I know it's in the 1,000s place, but it's a 2. So the value of this number here is 2,000. So I wrote the number 2 and everything else behind it turns to zeros to show me that the value of that digit is 2,000. All right, let's try the next one. So I have the same number, I just changed the underlined digit. So first thing I'm going to think is, what period is that number in? Well, it's between the 2 commas, so I know that we are still within the thousands period. So we're in the thousands period. I know that if I go back to my chart, that would be, if I wrote it in here, it would be in the 100,000s place. So I'm going to write that so I know. So we're in the thousands period. It's in the 100,000s place. But I'm asking for the value. So to find the value, I am going to have 100,000, but I have 8 of those. So my value is 800,000. And that here would be my answer. All right, let's do the next one. I would like you to pause the video and try to figure out the value of this underlying digit. If you would like to, figure out what period it is in and what place within the period it is in. Go ahead and pause your video now. All right, let's go over it together. So I'm going to figure out what period it is in and what place it is in first to help me out. So I know that this first part here is the ones, the ones, and then I know that I go to thousands and then millions. So here's thousands, so it's not in there. So it's in the millions period. So it's in the millions period. So I'm just going to write notes so I remember. Then I know that it's not the ones place. It's not the 10. It is the tens place and it's not the hundred. So it's in the 10 millions place. So the value of that, so because it's a 5, it is worth 50 million. And that would be the value of that underlined digit. All right, I would like you to try this one. Go ahead and pause your video. All right, welcome back. So I went ahead and I solved this one. I found that first of all, it is in the ones period. Then it is in the tens place within that period. So then I have to figure out if it's in the tens place, how many tens is it worth? Well, there is only one 10. So my answer of the value of the underlying digit is 10. All right. So for the next part of our learning goal, we have to write the number in 3 different ways. So standard form is the number written just like we normally would write it out with commas in between. So standard form of the number 57,896 would look like this. Expanded form. So what I am doing for expanded form is I am taking the digit, so I have 5 in the tens place of the thousands period times 10,000 because that is the place that it is in. Then I'm adding it to 7 times, the 7 is in the 1,000s place, so 7 times 1,000 plus 8 is in the hundreds place, plus 9, which is in the tens place, plus 6, which is in the ones place. This is how it would look in expanded form. Then for word form, this is the one that we did last week. We write it in word form exactly how we say it. So whenever we hear ourselves say it, this is how we would write it. 57,000, comma, because it's the end of a period, 896. So let's try this one down here together. I have standard form. So I have the number 1,675,321. So now I have to take those numbers and plug it into the blanks down here. So I have what times 1 million. So if I look in my number, the number within the 1 millions place is a 1. So I would put a 1 there. 1 times 1 million. Plus, what number is in the 100,000s place? I have a 6. So 6 times 100,000. Then I need to figure out what's in the 10,000s place. Well, I have a 7. So 7 times 10,000. I would like you to go ahead and try to solve these on your own. Pause the video here. Welcome back. I went ahead and I filled in the rest. So we stopped with 7 times 10,000. The next digit was a 5 that was in the thousands place. So 5 times 1,000. Plus, the hundreds place had a 3. So 3 times 100. The next place had a 2. So 2 times 10 plus the final digit was a 1 in the ones place. So 1 times 1. Word form. So when we are writing word form, remember we write it exactly how we hear it when we say it. So 1,675,000, and then after this, I would write 321. All right. I want you to try to write these numbers in expanded form. I want you to write these numbers in expanded form. Remember, expanded form is taking the place value it is in and multiplying it by the number. So I want you to try these two numbers here. Pause the video now. Welcome back. I would like you to check your answer of how you wrote the number in expanded form with mine. Check now.